Subtle skills, big results.
Welcome to the Ninja Selling Podcast.
Hey everyone, it's your good friend Eric Thompson. This is the Ninja Selling Podcast. Thank you as always for listening, for tuning in, for engaging. Check it out, my friends. Check it out, Ninja Nation. We have a terrific guest with us today. It is Adam Sobel. Adam, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you having me on.
Oh my gosh, it is our pleasure for sure. Adam, let's start with this. Just let everyone know where you're located, where you live, the markets that you serve, and also the company that you're with, because I'm sure they're going to want to reach out to you after this to say thank you, appreciate all the takeaways. I know that's going to happen. So go ahead and let everyone know where you are.
Absolutely. So I am in North Atlanta, born and raised just about 15, 20 minutes north of the city. And I'm with Keller Williams out of Roswell, Georgia. And you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, pretty easy to find if you just
all the places.
Yeah,
all the places. Awesome. That sounds great. Hey, tell us how you got introduced to Ninja.
I was introduced to Ninja in 2019, and it was from my former brokerage. I was with Century 21 in Roswell prior to Keller Williams, and the broker there introduced me to Ninja. He gave me a copy of Ninja Selling, and that's really how I got introduced to it. And then as far as the coaching goes, I was introduced through Leanne and Philip Maxwell, who are still with that same brokerage, Century 21.
Yeah, terrific. So Adam is one of our coaching clients. We appreciate that. You work with Shelley Culbertson. You were referred by one of our other clients, one of Shelley's other clients. And so we're very grateful for that. Okay, everyone needs to know, and we frequently do this, where we frequently share the takeaway, the theme, the punchline right up front. What we're going to call this is how to turn a dream into a reality. So we're going to hear about a dream that Adam had last year, at the end of last year, and how Adam was able to make that a reality. Lots of us have dreams that we want to turn into reality. Lots of us have dreams that at the time feel really big, feel maybe even somewhat impossible. How the heck would I ever do that? This is going to be that story. Adam, one more question to get to know you a little bit better, and this relates to turning dream into reality. Tell us about your family.
Sure. So I am married. My wife is Andrea, and we have a 2-month-old son, and his name is Burke. My wife and I met in 2021, and so kind of during that COVID time, and dated for only 6 months, and then got engaged, and we've been married. It'll be 3 years in November.
All right. Congratulations on that. Congratulations on the baby.
Thank you.
On 2 months. And gosh, here you are, a dad with a 2-month-old in the house, and you are stepping up to do a podcast, probably on minimal sleep.
Yeah.
We are grateful. We're grateful for that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's get right to it. So here's the big thing we're going to talk about today, guys. So Adam, there you were last November. So November 2024. Your baby was born again in July 2025. In November 2024, you get some big news and you find out that you're going to be a dad.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm guessing just super exciting that this is your first. And that's a big deal. I can only imagine how excited you were, right? All the feelings, excited, probably a little bit nervous.
All the emotions all at once. Definitely excited, scared, nervous, not knowing what to expect, but definitely it was something that my wife and I have wanted. And so that was part of the plan. So it wasn't something that was completely unplanned. It's just the timing that wasn't unsure. And so we were certainly excited to find out.
Yeah.
But then it was like everything that comes with that.
Everything that comes with it. Like, yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. This is the story as I understand it. You tell me if I have this right. So there you were at the end of last year and in a coaching session, and you said to Shelley, probably not offhandedly, but maybe in more of a dream kind of way, like, gosh, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if I was able to achieve what I wanted to achieve for the whole year 2025? Wouldn't it be nice if I was able to achieve that by the time the baby was born? So that's how I heard the story, but tell us your version of that moment.
Yeah, for sure. So I was on a coaching session with Shelly, like you said, and kind of let her know the news that we were expecting. And I was like, I'm self-employed. I don't have a paid paternity leave. My wife is a therapist, so she's also self-employed, doesn't get a paid maternity leave. Wouldn't it be nice if I could hit the numbers and let's set a goal and where I would feel comfortable being able to take 2 months off and be fully present and fully there for my wife and her recovery and for my son in those first couple months of life. And wouldn't it be nice if, I could hit the production numbers and close the volume that I need to close to be able to do that? And so Shelly was like, that's a great goal. Let's let's put that into action. Like, what do we need to do? Who do you need to become to close, the volume that you need to close to feel comfortable doing that?
Awesome. And Adam, thank you for sharing that. We're just so grateful you're sharing this story. And I want to highlight for everyone that moment in time and what was happening in that moment, the decisions were made in that moment, the transformation that was made in that moment. It went from, gosh, wouldn't it be nice? And then Shelley said, so why don't we do that? And so what I want to encourage everyone, whether you have a coach or not, you could coach yourself to do that. You can coach yourself to say, well, what if we actually did that? What would that look like? What would we do? Let's go make that happen. How often do we have these dreams that feel really good and we imagine how amazing it would be to achieve that thing? And how often do we then stop short of saying, well, what if we did that? So that's what happened in the moment. What if we did that? And Adam, you also told me another motivation for you to have that as a vision is you didn't know really what it was going to look like after the baby came, and nor does anyone know in that moment. And so you wanted to have yourself in a position where you would be okay with anything that might happen, knowing that maybe it'd be actually more than 2 months that you would have to be kind of around with a lot of attention on the new baby as opposed to your business.
100%. So you never know what's going to happen. If, luckily God bless us with a very healthy baby. We didn't spend any time with aftercare at the hospital. And my wife had a, very normal delivery and didn't have a whole lot of like recovery and recuperation, but I didn't know what I didn't know. And I didn't know what was going to be expected of me as a father. And I didn't want the baby to come and me have to go right back to work on Monday. I really wanted more, especially for our first child, time at home and flexibility to be able to enjoy that time and to take care of my wife, take care of my baby, and just be present for those moments.
Incredible. I love it. I mean, what a awesome mindset to have. That's a go-giving mindset. It's an intentional mindset. You knew that you wanted to be in a position to be there for the baby, for your wife, for your family, if that's what it required. So you and Shelly set a goal for okay. So what would that mean? What would you want to have accomplished? What do you want to have to show for it? What are the results that you want by the time the baby would be born in July? And so tell us about the goal that you set and then what you actually achieved.
So the goal that we set was 10 million in production by the time the baby came. And we ended up at 11,448,000 was what we had closed, listed, or pending when the baby came. So on the due date.
Amazing. What was that like? What was that like for you? A couple of days before the baby's born, you more than hit the goal. Like how did that feel?
It felt really great. And I mean, just kind of going back to Shelly and how wonderful she is, just being able to kind of turn the vision into a reality. Like, I think that's one of the great things about coaching is that people can see the potential that maybe you don't see in yourself and allow you to take something that seems like unachievable and unattainable and help you put that into reality and make it happen. So she was a really good cheerleader and was able to hold me accountable and kind of boiled down my business into a way of what are the top things, the top activities that you're doing that are working. Let's double down on those, and all this other filler stuff that takes up your day and chasing the things that really aren't bringing you any business. Let's just cut those out and get you super focused and super hyper driven on the things that are working and double down on those. And so that's what we did.
Okay, so Adam, what you just shared is a really good segue into the specific actions that you were doing, the specific things that were your strategies to make this happen. We'll get into those in a second, but one more thing, another interesting conversation that you and I had preparing for this podcast. You also said that you were considering the question, okay, for me to do this, who do I need to become? Who do I need to become? And so can you tell us more about that question going through your mind and that thought process and what came as a result of that? Like, tell us more about that.
For sure. So I feel like as far as like production goes, it's kind of was like a slow ramp up starting in the business. And then for a while I just kind of had the same production year over year and wasn't really growing. And then so for the last couple of years, my production's been pretty similar. And so I feel like if you always do what you always did, you always get what you always got, is what I say. So if you keep doing the same things over and over, if you put the same amount of effort in and keep doing the same things, then you're probably going to get pretty similar results year over year. So I knew that I had to change something intrinsically with myself and my business to be able to level up and do the amount of production that I wanted to do, a year's worth of production in 6 months, essentially. So was basically having to double my efforts. So it was really just changing the mindset and transforming myself and transforming my business to be able to accomplish these goals.
Yeah, what we know from Ninja, there are three keys to success: mindset, skill set, action. It starts with mindset. And you were so smart to be aware of that. And you were so smart to know that the place to start with this goal is with your mindset. And you really thinking about, okay, who's the person I'm going to become to then go achieve this goal? I mean, sure, we'll talk about the actions, we'll talk about the strategies, but it really started with that. You decided to be a different person in order for you to get that goal.
Yeah. I couldn't expect to remain the same and not grow and expect double the results of the year before. That would just be silly.
Yeah.
So I knew that something was going to have to change within myself and within my daily actions to be able to level up.
Yeah. And I think another thing to highlight here is that, in Ninja, we talk so much about your why, getting clear about your why, having a compelling why.
Yeah.
You had a very compelling why called your baby,
Yeah.
with a due date, right? And so all at once you had a big why. Good on you. You leveraged that. You took that more than seriously. You said, you know what, I'm going to go make this happen. There's a compelling reason for me to do it, and I'm going to go become a whole other person. Yeah,
100%.
bravo.
Thank
Okay, so now this all begs the question. So how'd you do it? I'm sure people are wondering. So okay, so what did he do? How did he do it? I want to do something similar. Maybe it's for a different reason, but I want to do something similar.
you.
You told me there really are three things that you feel like you leveled up, doubled down on, committed even more to. And I'll just tell people right now what they are, and then we'll go into depth. The three things are real estate reviews. We're not surprised. Number one. Number two, client events. We'll get into. And then three is you became much more intentional about your hot, warm list. So let's talk about real estate reviews. You have a very innovative way to do real estate reviews. So I think this will be another takeaway for people. Some people might be inspired about your strategy, how
Mhm.
you do real estate reviews. So tell us how you do them and maybe what led to you doing them in the way that you do them.
Sure. So I do my real estate reviews are all over a software called Loom, which is a screen record software. So essentially, I do all my research that I would do for a regular real estate review. I use Focus First, which is a product that is provided to us through coaching. You don't have to be in coaching to use it, but it's a really great software that integrates with the MLS to pull data. And then I pull comparables in the neighborhood and kind of compare to the listing photos from when they bought their house. And I'm able to create like a short 5-minute video that looks at the comparables in their neighborhood, looks at the Focus First, and then I run a net sheet and I create this 5-minute video that's yearly. It's their yearly real estate review and send it to them via email and then follow up with a text. And then if they have any questions, sometimes it leads to a sit down appointment. Sometimes it leads to a phone call, just depending on how it's received and where they are in the process.
Got it. Okay, great. I can feel there's some like hardcore ninjas that are maybe shuddering right now at the thought of it. It's by video and it's by email. And what are you talking about?
I know.
This is blasphemous. It's not. Okay, we're gonna talk about why this is very ninja the way you're doing that. But I just want to acknowledge that. If people are curious, again, it's Loom, Loom. It's simply a screen share software. There's lots of things like Loom that are out there, and all it does is it can just record you sharing your screen, and it could also have you on as a little circle down in the lower corner of the screen using your camera. So you're doing a 5-minute screen share video
Mhm.
using all those pieces that you talked about. So do you let them know that it's coming? Like, do you notify them ahead of time, or do you just send it?
I don't. So I do it based on their anniversary of their house sale. So if they've been in their house, they get one at 1 year, they get one at 2 years. So I just send it by email. And then the good thing about Loom is I can see if they viewed it or not. And so whether they do, whether they don't, I'm going to follow up with a text or a phone call, just letting them know that I sent it. Check it out. It's just a short 5-minute video. Just really letting them know. I call it an equity analysis, is what I call it for them, or an equity checkup, as opposed to a real estate review. But I just, let them know, hey, I was doing a little research on your house and your neighborhood. I just wanted to kind of let you know where you're at. Just check out the video. Would love to hear your thoughts on it.
Got it. Okay, so that's what you put in the email.
Mhm.
Then in the video, I'm guessing it's some version of, "Hey guys, this is Adam. This is your annual equity review. I'm going to walk you through what's happening with your property, what's happening in the area. Here you go. Look at these visuals. This is what's interesting. I'm going to follow up with you
Mhm.
soon to share some additional thoughts." So something to the effect of that.
Exactly. And I say, just kind of wanted to let you know where you're at. I'm sure you're happy in your house and that you're loving it. If you're not, this is kind of the price I think that we could get for it if you wanted to sell it. Or if you wanted to do some home improvements and do a home equity line, you have this much equity, you have this much room on it. Or if you wanted to use that money to consolidate debt, if you wanted to use it to buy an investment property, I just want to let you know this is what you're sitting on.
Got it.
Yeah.
Terrific. So showing is better than telling. So
Mhm.
the video really works. And I want everyone to make note of something that Adam said a couple minutes ago. He said, I follow up. So you say whether they view the video or not, you follow up. So that's what makes this ninja. So you follow up by text or email, or I'm sorry, by text or phone. Is that what you said?
Yeah, usually it's usually text because I send it via email. So I'll follow up with a text whether they have or haven't seen it. If they have seen it, it's, what did you think of the video? Do you have any questions? If you haven't seen it, it's like, hey, I sent this the other day. I just want to make sure you got it. Just check it out when you have a couple minutes. I think there's some really good stuff. You're going to enjoy it. And then sometimes that'll lead to a phone call or an in-person meeting. I had one that turned into a listing the summer of last year, spring of last year, that I sent it out, and he called me a couple of days after I sent it and was like, "Man, I had no idea that my property was worth this much. Like, thank you so much for letting me know." He was using it as an Airbnb, and it was more of a higher end property, and he wasn't really getting consistent bookings. And so he was like, "If I'm ready to put it on the market and cash out. I didn't know that had this much equity in it. This ended up being a really good buy." But it's not really working out how I thought on the short-term rental market. So
Awesome. Awesome. Great idea. How many of these are you doing, say, on a weekly basis?
today or when I don't have a 2-month-old baby?
Yeah, maybe let's. Great question. Let's go back to February. Right.
Yeah. I'm doing about 2. I'm doing about 2 a week.
Okay. 2 a week.
It's increasing every year as, my clothes my clothes sales, you know, everyone gets added to that hopper each year. And so every month I have a list and I work through that list, but every year it's going to increase because I'm, selling new properties every
Yeah. So you choose to do it in the same month that they close,
year. Mhm.
and you do it for people that you've helped before, and it works. So that's one thing you did this year to turn that dream into reality. Super innovative how you do that. Something else innovative from my perspective that you're doing, and the way that you're doing them are your client events. For example, tell us about the car wash event that you do. I think this is really smart, really clever how you do this.
So yeah, love the client appreciation events is what we call them. We try to do them quarterly, and one of the ones that we've had 3 years in a row has been the car wash event. So basically, I hire a mobile detailer, and he sets up at our Keller Williams office, and people sign up for a time slot through Sign Up Genius. They come, it's a 30-minute time slot. They drop their car off. The mobile detailer details their car. He does like really good on the outside, and then he kind of vacuums and does like a basic detail on the inside. And during that time, it's really like a one-on-one I get with them to be able to catch up with them. I usually have like some public subs or, some catering, some food, some snacks for them. And so it's, either a single person, a husband, wife, family, sometimes there's kids there too, but it's really one-on-one with that, either person or family that I get to catch up with them. Whereas my other events, you can only spend so much time with each person. You got to keep floating around. So I really love that one. And we have their keys, so they can't go anywhere.
Yeah, they're a captive audience, right? I mean, they're there. They can't drive away because their car's being worked on. And
Mhm.
you told me, I think if it's a nice day, you just have a couple like outdoor patio chairs set up, and you just sit there and chat with them. Great Ford conversation while they're getting their car detailed.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, love it. Tell us about any other events that you think work really well and are some of your favorites.
Yeah, we're doing a Santa event this year. So it's a holiday party. We rented out some space at a brewery that's kind of local in North Atlanta. And we're gonna bring in catering, and then we have a Santa Claus that we've hired for the night, and then a professional photographer so people can come with their kids and get photos with Santa for their Christmas cards. And so that's gonna be in November. So that one's another one. Also with my events, I try to keep them under $1,000 is my budget. And a lot of times I'll get either the closing attorney that I'm partnered with or the lender that I'm partnered with to split the cost with me, so it doesn't end up being so costly. But yeah, I mean, I would say that that's one of the linchpins in my business that's really been transformative is the events. People seem to really like them, and it's really more about the follow-up before and after than whether or not they come to the event. I use paperless post as the program I use to send out the invitations and to track the responses and the RSVPs. And then they do a really good job about sending reminder emails. You can do it through paperless post as well. And then texting people, calling them leading up to the event. And then after the event, whether they came, thanking them for coming, or if they didn't make it. Sorry we missed you at this one. I hope to see you at the next one. Hope all is well. It's just a really good touch and a really nice reason to reach out.
Yeah, you told me you're never at a loss for, well, what am I going to say when I reach out to them?
Mhm.
It's always about the event. Either hope to see you at this one,
Mhm.
or it was great to see you, or we missed you. Look forward to seeing you at the next one. That you're just in this constant
Flow.
cycle of doing that. So you'll do 3 or 4 events a year.
Yeah, it's gonna be 3 this year. We missed one in the 3rd quarter one, but, we have the one coming up with Santa in the,
Yeah, right.
November, so
You had a little event in your house that
exactly.
called your baby
Mhm,
that prevented the other one. But that's okay. That's what you planned for. Okay.
mhm,
The third thing that you told me about when we were really digging into okay, so how did you make this happen? The third thing you told me about is becoming much more intentional about your hot and warm list.
mhm,
I love that you're bringing this up. We find it in coaching. There's so much hidden opportunity in especially the warm list. It can be more nuanced, but when you figure it out, when you unlock it, oh my goodness, there's all kinds of opportunity to unlock. So tell us about how that went for you and how you started to view your hot warm list, how you use your hot warm list. Like, tell
mhm.
us about your process.
Sure. So this is another thing that kind of goes back to Shelly and her coaching. But she was kind of changed my mindset around the warm list. I previously I would say that my warm list was people that I had spoken to that I knew were going to do business but just weren't ready yet. And she made me see it through a different lens that like people that are going through life changes, like they talk about the 5 Ds, death, divorce, diapers. I can't think of the other two, but the reasons for moving. So if I'm seeing those trends and active on social media, or hear that someone, has a job promotion or is expecting another child, like they need to be on the warm list, because those are events that lead to moves, whether it's in the short term or long term. So really having, kind of beefing up the warm list and being more intentional and adding people on that before I even know that they're ready to do business, I feel like has kind of set up my pipeline for the future, and kind of alleviated the real estate roller coaster that a lot of us are on, where we're busy, 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 and then service all the business, and then you feel like you're unemployed. It's like, okay, well, where's the next one? So it's kind of helped keep things a little bit more consistent and less of the peaks and valleys.
Right, right, which is so nice. It's so nice to smooth that out, instead of the big up followed by the big down. You
Mhm,
smooth that out using the warm list. Okay, so what do you do when someone goes onto the warm list, when you're noticing that life change?
mhm.
What happens? Because what we know doesn't happen, because we're ninjas, we don't all at once call them up and say, "Hey, so you're ready to sell your house yet?" We don't do that. So how do you approach it, Adam?
Yeah, I think it depends on my relationship with that person specifically. If it's someone that I'm really close with and they've just had like a life event, whether it's something positive or something negative, they'll probably reach out to them with a call. If it's more of an acquaintance, I might send them a private message on Facebook. I might comment on their post, something as simple as that. But keeping them on the list and, kind of following up from there based on the relationship and based on what the situation is.
Yeah, got it. Another great thing to do, everyone, is a real estate review. And someone
Mhm.
goes on to warm list. That's a great next step. Yeah, yeah, Adam. Again, I'm really glad you're bringing this up. What we focus on in coaching, and I encourage everyone to do this, is to have 20% of your sphere on your warm list. So, Adam, you told me you have 200 people in your database, in
Mhm.
your sphere, and so I'm guessing your warm list is somewhere on the order of 40 people on the warm
About
list, right?
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is it 40 exactly?
just about, right.
Okay. Everyone needs to know that was not pre-planned. That
Yeah.
that was but, again, that I'm sure that your coach works with you on that. Make sure you always have 20%. So everyone work on that. Get 20% of your database on your warm list, and all you do is you just look for life change in Ford, right? If they're having F, O, R, or D changes, then put them on the warm list, and you can easily find 20% of your sphere having some sort of life change. And then it, like Adam said, all of a sudden you see a bunch of opportunities sitting right in front of you, and that's how you smooth out the ups and the downs.
I would say my goal is to have a year's worth of production on the warm list. So whatever I'm trying to do for this year, what I'm trying to do for next year, I want with the warm list we have basically like what their what we think their transaction volume is going to be. And if you add up all the volume on my warm list, it's what I want to do next year.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. This stuff works. This
Mhm.
stuff works. Uh, Adam, this has just been fantastic. Ton of takeaways. Anything else you would share with the Ninja Nation in terms of just anything, thoughts, advice, wisdom from a sleep deprived dad?
Man, I would just say that, these last couple of years in real estate, followed by how crazy COVID has been, that, anyone that's still listening, I'm glad that you're still in the industry and that you keep trudging on. And I think that I'm hoping that the worst of the market is behind us and that there's brighter days ahead with the interest rates coming down. And I would just say to, stay consistent and pick a couple of things that are working and double down on those. And don't, it's so easy to chase the shiny object and all this other stuff. But I feel like the more intentional you get and the less things you focus on and the deeper you get on just a couple of things that are working is really transformative and
Yeah.
the path to success.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's how this all started for you last November. You said, okay, I'm gonna look at what are the things that I'm doing that work really well. And I'm gonna do a whole lot of that
Yeah.
so I can turn this dream into a reality. Adam, we celebrate you. We celebrate the achievement. We mostly celebrate the spirit behind it, and the reason behind it is that you just want to be there for your wife, for the new baby, and
Mhm.
turned into this terrific goal, this amazing outcome. We're happy you have a healthy, happy little baby boy. We're wishing you more sleep as time goes on.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're super grateful for you joining.
I appreciate you having me, Eric. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. Everyone, Adam Sobel, he's in Georgia. Look him up, send him a note, send him a thank you. We appreciate it. And we appreciate all of you listening as always. And as always, we so look forward to seeing you on the next podcast. We'll see you soon. Take care.
If you enjoyed this episode, visit us at theninjasellingpodcast.com to learn more about ninja selling classes and coaching to get you started or further your journey on the ninja path.
Thank you for joining us. Now go have an incredible day.